One of the most frustrating things that I've experienced is, and I'm sure many of you have had this, is you go around in the same circle with the same people. And you get frustrated with how they behave, and you get frustrated with the outcomes. And it's similar to what I think it's Einstein said, the definition of insanity is doing the same thing over and over again and expecting a different result. And I think we forget that that sometimes applies to our behaviour too. That if you change your behaviour, it forces the other person to also change theirs, because they now have to react to you in a different way than they did before. The question is, what is it that you're hoping to get out of the interaction? And that's what I also had to think about in the course of my career. And there's two options, right? Sometimes you have the possibility to completely take yourself out of the situation, but more often than not, because of the way working works, you don't. So it sometimes means reading the situation, looking at what is it that I want out of this, and how can I change the way I behave to demand, just through behaviour, not requests, not asking, for the change in my own behaviour, what will precipitate a change in their behaviour. And sometimes it can be a really straightforward thing. And I talk about this even within the context of exploitative femininity, which is some people thrive off having side conversations and leaving you essentially in the dark, but you get it from other sources. Sometimes a change in behaviour is, instead of kind of entertaining conversations on the side, you cut it off and you go straight to them. Now, it's going to present discomfort. So you changing your behaviour is also an uncomfortable situation, because this is probably outside of your natural, I'm not going to say skill set, your natural pattern, your natural behaviour set. But it would not steer you wrong. And in this case, following up on this example, it's going directly to the source instead of having to negotiate two other conversations. Because in those situations, what you're reading from it or gleaning from it is the person is ill-equipped to deal with you directly. So by pushing their behaviour and changing your behaviour and not feeding into theirs, you get a different outcome. So just take your time to think about it if you get to that point of, and I certainly got there. And as I said, certain times I changed my behaviour, certain times I took myself out of the situation completely, because I could, to avoid having to really prolong situations that I didn't enjoy, or prolong situations that, for my mental well-being, my career's well-being, and just my overall well-being, it just wasn't worth being engaged with them continually. Has anyone else had this? Tell me what you did.